What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another bi-weekly podcast here on the Modern Day Trader with your boys. Um, just these freestyle sessions where we just catch up and discuss just topics about trading, life, uh, you know, passions. But yeah, firstly,
Everything.
bro, how you doing? How's your week? I know it's
Hey,
been a hectic week, hectic
bro,
couple of days, but how you doing, bro?
I'm to be honest with you, I'm tired, bro. Like, I'm genuinely tired. On Thursday, I was actually thinking of just going to the doctor and just like telling him, hey, bro, like all the symptoms of burnout just put me off for a good 4 days there, bro. Like, I'm
Yeah.
tired. Uh, and then yeah, then I didn't end up going to the doctor. I think I might go tomorrow, like next weekend, just because and
Mm,
at the end of the day, my work requires me to get shit done. Nobody's gonna do it for me. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
in the department that I'm in, like you have monthly things that needs to go to SARS, and when it
mm,
gets to that time of like submissions, nobody's gonna do it for you. You just have to do it for yourself, whether you're sick, unless you like really like out and or like somebody died or something like that. They're still gonna expect you
mm.
to get it done. And so yeah, bro. But this week has been mad. I didn't get to back test. I went to gym like twice. At least I still kept up with exercising because I could still run. So I still ran, right, to get my cardio
Yeah.
in. But like, I feel like this week has just been like mad, bro. Like, I can't fathom. I honestly can't fathom. This morning, we had to set like our time for 8. I woke up at 25 past 8, bro. I didn't hear none of my alarms. Like, imagine I sleep for like 10 hours, 10 and a half hours, bro. Like, and I still didn't hear my alarm. And that's like,
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, bro. Like, damn. And now I'm still
That's
gonna
good to know. You're
like,
bordering
bro.
burnout.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So ah, but I think as long as I cycle my sleep and I still treat my body the way I need to, I'm eating clean, I'm like doing everything that I need to, then I feel like
Mm,
I should be able to like go, but I don't also want to go until I hit the wall. And then I was like, bro, you should
mm,
have like slowed down, you know what I mean? So
mm,
like today it was good. Yes. And I ended up waking up without an alarm at the end of the day. So like that's usually
mm.
what I do on a Saturday. But like obviously today is just a like for me, like look at yourself, bro. Like you're sleeping for almost 12 hours, bro. That should tell you, like, hey, bro, like either your sleep in the
Yeah.
week is not good or like something's just not right, bro. But other than all of that, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm good, like getting healthier, like I'm still like doing what I need to in the gym, still doing what I need to in trading. Just a pity that like
Yeah.
all of my actual processes this week had to take a back step for like work. I don't really
Mm,
like doing that because I don't like pushing like things aside for like work, bro. At the end of the day, all they're gonna do is like pay you your salary. That's it, bro. Like then it's like, yeah, bro. Like
yeah, I
because
get you.
if I'm learning something new, then it's fine. But like at the end of the day, all they really gonna do is say, hey, bro, shout out, you came to, yeah, like
Mm.
that's it. You know what I mean? There's nothing else that you can do to like, bro.
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
yeah,
now at your spine, is there any, obviously, like your pay structure is like fixed or whatever, but are there like bonuses or like extra incentives, or is that only at maybe at like a more senior level?
yeah, probably at the most senior level. But when you're in your article clerks, it's literally like a fucking factory, mate. Like
Say,
it's a factory, bro. Like, and if they know that you can do
yeah.
shit, like if they know you the kid that can make the Nikes look like a proper Nike and you can pump that shit out, then they're gonna pull
Yeah.
up to you and say, "Hey, bro, come to, we need these retro ones here, bro. Come to, make this thing here,
Yeah.
bro." Like that's literally what it
I
is,
get
bro. And like then at the end of the year, they say it's a performance-based bonus, but it's not even a bonus. It's like a fucking kickback, bro. It's like 10,
I
twenty
get
percent of your
you.
salary. It's not a bonus, bro. That's like, bro.
No,
So tough. Like that's why I feel like it's in
jeez.
terms of business. If I think about it, it's a good business model for like the owner, for like the O's that spun in
Yeah.
there, it's the youngest, bro, because you're getting paid like basically minimum wage in your accounting field, and
Yeah.
yeah, bro. But at the end of the day. skill acquisition phase, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, bro.
Mm,
Other than that, I'm good. How you been, bro? Sorry for the
yeah.
long-winded answer, but yeah, that's been my week, bro.
No, no, no. No, I get you, bro. But I mean, like you said, bro, apprenticeship phase, it's not so much about the money at this stage,
Yeah,
but I'm sure the skills and the experience that you're gaining, it's
exactly.
so that one day when you are obviously in that owner position, you understand the nuts and bolts, and that's really what
Mm,
we're looking for this phase in this phase. But yeah, I think I can relate a lot to how your week was because my week was very similar from like busyness perspective. I'm busy with the move at the moment, and fortunately, obviously with family business that I work in, there's like an understanding of like I must still do what I need to do, but I can not take a bit of time to do other things, but like if I get a gap, like an hour or two for some running around that I have to do, because obviously the staff had to go this week on
mm,
Tuesday. So like on my way to site, like I stopped by home just to make sure that, the lady who was there at home, like understood like what was going while staying, all of that. Last weekend was crazy just with packing because we literally got told the Friday evening that they had to pick up our stuff on Tuesday for it to be in
jeez.
Cape Town on Saturday. So we hadn't even started packing at that point. So we literally had Saturday, Sunday, Monday to like
Jeez.
declutter, pack, wrap, and make sure that everything was ready by Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, I was like done, bro. Like,
Damn, bro.
oh,
I can
like
imagine.
it was it was intense. So that coupled with having to like close out and hand over certain responsibilities at work and on site, which already on its own is like a task because it's like basically like gathering everything you do and everything you know and trying to like basically like tie up loose ends, but then also hand it over to someone else and like explain like how certain things are done and like obviously things that you were in the process of doing that now have to be handed over to someone else. But in the same breath, like because it's family business, like it never really like nobody's really ever
Yeah.
gonna stop like telling or asking you to do things or like if there's ever a new problem, like it makes its way to your desk in some way. And the old man was away this week. So NK and I were like all the problems were basically coming to NK and I in any case. So
Eee.
it was just bro, a week. When I tell you a week, Doug. I think I had told you like Tuesday, Wednesday, I basically wasn't trading. Well, Monday I wasn't because it was a public holiday, but markets were still open. But I was packing that whole day, so no trading then. Tuesday, Wednesday, I was literally on site all day, no trading. Thursday, I was back in the office, but just caught no trades. And then Friday, I got one position on GJ, which was a loss. But it was a decent position. But to be honest, there was still an element of expectation that I had there. So it was a quiet week on that front as well. But I think mainly because, not because there weren't any setups. I think there were setups over the week, but my focus was just in so many different places that yeah, I missed again a lot of setups, and that's just it's a recurring theme, and maybe also partly why like when I was just discussing to you briefly, like the topic I wanted us to touch on, maybe why I'm also wanting to touch on that because in this time where like life is getting so busy, or even if it's just in this moment, we obviously have our overarching goal of the 100K challenge, of which I think we should note that pushing that back by a month now. I think
Yeah.
officially, I think we're gonna go for those 100K challenges end of August.
The
We said end of
end of
August, beginning
yeah.
September,
Yes.
which is as a result of combination of unexpected financial pressures, myself with the move, yourself with you know, there's a lot of costs that have come up that weren't budgeted for, but then also there's a lot of prep and sort of prerequisites for that challenge
Yeah.
that perhaps also need a bit more time. And so it's just not that it's flexible, but kind of just making that unanimous decision to say, look, let's just push it back by a month, but knowing that we can't have that discussion again. Like it has to be September, where we go for that. So knowing that there's that overarching goal, but things are so crazy right now. Question that I've kind of been having with myself or conversation is like, geez, like when do I give myself like some grace or like not some grace, but like do I allow myself to slack a bit in this moment? That's a conversation I've been having with Tara as well, like because she's been saying, look, like time is very scarce. Like in these last couple of days, obviously there's a lot of family that will be spending like the last moments with. Obviously not forever, but when you move to a different city, you see people a lot less. So a lot of that spare time needs to go to spending time with family, which makes sense. But with work being so crazy, it's like there's a lot less time for our processes as well. You said your processes took a hit in this time, and mine have also too. And so I found myself having to almost like force work blocks more so at the end of the day, where my productivity is also like shot, and it's like you sit for an hour or 2 hours trying to work, but you really only get 20 or 30 minutes worth of productivity, where it's like, should I have just, called it a day and slept and like rather woken up early? Is it valid for me to kind of take my foot off the gas a bit in certain areas because there's other things that kind of like need my attention at this moment? But then in the same breath, something that I think has almost been like a bit triggering, but like I've been looking back on is every single year things come up like, and it feels like I always make the excuse of, but right now, like there's a lot of pressure in this area. So can afford to just let, delay this process or like not do this process. And it's like, when does that stop? When does, you know, when do the charts become the priority? And if there's anything I do from my day, and obviously some things are out of our control, which is where I think the conflict is coming from. But like, where do you draw the line? Like, do I just be hard on myself and just go for it? Or do you kind of just delay it a bit? Because obviously when you don't do certain processes, it kind of delays that optimal outcome by a week, two, or whatever. But that builds up over the long run. So yeah, I'm keen to get your thoughts on that, like managing energy, managing focus, because at the end of the day, I think it's a question of like where you can what you can put your attention on and what you can prioritize and focus based on circumstance, based on work, based on, a whole host of other things. Um, can I give myself a break, or should I just fucking tough it out and stick to the things that I need to do, even if it's just being super specific with what I do in a week, knowing that there's so many other things going on.
Yeah.
Keen to hear your thoughts,
I
bro.
think there's two options, like, but I prefer option number one based on like what I've realized with myself. Option number one is you have everything going on. You know what's happening. Yes, it's out of your control. It came up now. You don't know how long it's going to take, but you know that you still need to get everything done, right? That's scenario number one. And my option in that thing is take the risk. Like, that's option number one. Rest, bro. Like, give yourself a break, right? Option number two is go balls to the wall, but they know you're gonna feel like shit majority of the time. You're probably gonna lash out at people. Like, when you're gonna have to be present with people, you're probably not gonna be as present because you're gonna be thinking about, bro, like yesterday I was sitting at the laptop, but I only did this amount. I'm supposed to do this amount. I was supposed to finish this amount of work at work. I didn't because A, B, and C happened. You know what I mean? That's option number two. So option number one, rest. Option number two, balls to the wall. The reason why I always want to go for option number one, and I think it's more so a structured approach. The problem is that I'm always going balls to the wall. And then when I realize I'm tired, I rest, right? And then when I rest, my alarms are still set. So I'm still like, I have this broken rest in that, like, and I'm talking about sleep now, right? Like, you're supposed to set actual rest days where you like forget about things for a bit so that you can rejuvenate and things like that. But I'm gonna take it back to like work, right? So I wake up pretty early in the morning so that I can do my processes early in the morning. Then I go to gym, then I go to work, then I get back and like I'll do whatever I need to do. Sometimes I back there, sometimes I do Excel course. I'll first do my cardio in the evening now, and then I'll come back and work again, right? For a bit, like just a bit, and then I'll go to bed. At the end of the like in 2 weeks, like my body starts feeling like, especially over the past like 2 months, because I've been working like every single day, Monday through Saturday. Then I'll get off on a Sunday, but on a Sunday I'm editing a video, sometimes shooting a video. You know what I mean? So I'm still kind of working. But when it comes to like Wednesday, Thursday, and I wake up and it's like I'm already waking up an hour later than my time. I'm waking up 5 o'clock now. I'm not waking up 4 or 2:45, and I feel absolutely knackered, bro. Like I'm just like tired, right? My alarm went off. Now I must get up because I need to go to gym, right? I don't feel like getting up, bro. Like I feel like my eyes are so. I'm gonna go to gym. I'm gonna do everything, but then when 10 o'clock comes, like everything after 10 is just a write off, bro. Like I'm just literally writing it off. Like I didn't back this. I didn't do anything. Then what I end up doing is what I started to do is I ended up saying, fuck it, bro. I can start work at 9 o'clock. Let me sleep in till 7 o'clock, right? Then I sleep until 7 o'clock, get up, shower, go to work, start at 9. At the end of like 1 o'clock comes, I'm hella tired because I had that broken up sleep. And what I've realized over the past like couple weeks now, like I can foresee when I'm gonna take this like turn in energy based on like the amount of work I have. Like it doesn't happen when I don't have like all of these crazy projects happening and it's normal life, right? But like when these like crazy turn of events happen, like I think it's important to set like that time aside and say, bro, you're gonna sleep in on this day and you're not gonna set an alarm until this time. Because like even on my rest days, Wednesdays when I used to sleep, like when I choose to sleep in, right? I still have that like broken like sleep. So I'm just using that as an analogy so that like people can understand that, hey, bro, like when you do decide to rest and you decide to say, hey, like I'm gonna take this day, or I'm gonna take this 2 days, the important thing is to actually do that and rest, bro. So then like you don't feel any type of way when you come back and like you don't say, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Because that's what I felt like. I felt kind of guilty because now I was like, I missed gym. I need to go in the evening now, like because it was unstructured and unplanned in a way. You know what I mean? But if I planned it a bit better, I would have slept better, meaning I would have felt better all throughout the whole day. I would have been able to gym a bit better. I wouldn't get to gym and I'm feeling tired af in the evening. And like when the evening comes, I would feel way better. You know what I mean? So like my approach is like take the rest, right? You know your goal, you know what you need to do. But like when you feel like ass, bro, you're more likely than not gonna be able to finish whatever you're gonna have to finish. Like as long as you know that like the rest is there to just like take you down to zero for a bit, like bloom, reset, and then after that you're going in again. And I feel like throughout life you need to be able to like also determine like for you now, you're in a move. You know your ends are gonna want to spend time with your Taurus ends are probably gonna want to spend time with them. Like you know where you need to get to with practice and you know where you need to get to with like certain things. But at the end of the day, there's only so much time in a day. And you know that when you're in Cape Town, there's probably going to be more time in the day to practice. Like, yes, right enough, you don't know how you're going to, like, what the workload's going to be. You don't know, like, that stuff you don't know as yet. But you're definitely going to have more freedom from a perspective of, like, you don't have to go visit family as much. You don't have to, like, do all of the other stuff. So I'd say, like, take the rest break for a while, like a day or 2, 3 days, but like actively say this is gonna be my race time. So then you're not worried about like, let me do this, I must still do that. So then like because in that way your mind is not really resting and like you constantly worried about I still need to do that. You know what I mean? I think that when you have a structured race break, you know that after this race break, I need to go and complete X like amount of trades and backtesting. You know what I mean? Like, so then you can, like, let's say, for instance, you're supposed to take 10 trades in 3 days. Like, if you miss that 3 days, you know that you need to, like, split that 3 days up into the next 3 weeks. So then I need to take 13 trades next week, 13 trades the following week, and 13 trades the following week, and now I'm caught up. Or I can take like 15 and 15. I'm caught up. You know what I mean? Yes, I need to put a bit more time in to catch up, but like you can catch up as long as like you have a structured approach and you know that like what you're gonna do is like it's planned essentially, right? And that's like what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to like plan my breaks a bit better, plan things so then I don't feel guilty about like, oh, I must still do this, or I must, because at the end of the day, I also don't like wasting my time. And that's where option number 2 comes in. If you go balls to the wall, like at the end of the day, you're a person. Like you only have like, and like studies even show you can only apply your mind to like actual like deep work for such a long time in a day. Like that's especially when you have like physical things that you're doing, you're going to gym, like it's things that actually tire you out. You go to work for 8 hours. Of that 8 hours, you're probably going like balls to the hole for like 6-7 hours. You have your break, and then that's like, bro, like you know what I mean. So now you come back, you feel, if you feel like generally tired, you're probably gonna be like half-assing like your back testing, half-assing your reading, or half-assing your other learning outside of like trading. You know what I mean? Because it's like, damn, bro, like I'm so tired. So then, like, what's the point of like going balls to the wall when you feel tired that day, right? You're gonna feel tired. You're gonna say you did an hour. In reality, you only did 15 minutes if you really like stay in yourself nakedly and at your inadequacies. Like you only did 15, 30 minutes of that hour. You probably like scrolled up and down, like schemed through the work or whatever the case may be. Then the next day, you're probably gonna do the same thing. Then you're gonna sleep a bit. Then you're gonna go balls to the wall again. It's gonna be good. So then that's gonna give you a bit of like push to like energy to do it again. But then like at the end of the day, I feel like yes, you're going to be there, you're going to show up, which in theory is important. Showing up is important, but I don't think like not getting like at least 75 to 80% of that work block like out is as important as showing up. You know what I mean? I think it's more important to like get like 80% of that hour, 2 hours out of like your work block compared to just showing up, bro. Yeah, that's my answer.
Also,
I
like,
think option number 1
yeah.
is like what I'd go for personally. What do you think, bro? Because I know you also like to go like go 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 go, but I think I've started
Yeah.
to understand like a bit better like how my body performs based on like putting
Mm.
myself through certain situations. And yes, like people would say I go balls to the wall, but I don't think so, because I do think like I allow myself within a week to get a break, within
Mm.
2 weeks to like get a even bigger break, like a 2-day thing. So like, yeah, bro, like what do you think? What's your answer to that question?
True. Yeah, I think you balance rest quite well, even though you do technically go balls to the wall because you push yourself to the limit. But I think one thing you probably do better than me is schedule in like rest. I think I try to, but when it feels like there's certain things I haven't been able to do in the week, then I kind of use that rest block as like a catch up kind of block with it builds up over time. So I think it's it's trying to balance um still understanding that this is like a long-term thing and
Mm,
you're trying to work towards it in a sustainable way, but in the shortest time possible,
yeah,
where there's obviously going to be periods of being more busy, like you're saying now. Like this isn't a normal period.
yeah,
Everything you're saying, there's going to be more time in a couple of weeks, all of that. So opt for the rest now. And it's not a rest in terms of not trading, not being in the
yeah,
market. It's just, I think, being a bit more
lenient.
selective with
Mm,
lenient, yeah, selective with when I actually or how much time I spend, uh, on my processes in the week
mm.
outside of just the day-to-day forecasting, evening sessions, all of that. And that's maybe something I'll just need to apply in this time. But I think not sure. You did have your back testing session yesterday, right? Or
Nah, not even. I came home
no,
and I
you didn't.
slept, bro.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's so
But I
largely
think
due
that
to outside factors, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I get you.
yeah, hey,
I
traveling
get you.
public transport is not the one, bro. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, go in, bro. Go in, go
No,
in,
I
go in.
get you. I get you. Um, but that's a really good. I was really a fan of it because I had mine on Thursday, and that was an hour 15, but literally such like a focused, like intentional, and I could feel afterwards that like, yo, I actually got through a lot,
Hmm.
and I was tired, like mentally as well, more than physically, like post that session. So I think it's about having like, and at that time I was like, if I can just have like even one, probably two or three sessions like that in a week, it's better than having 4 or 5 2 hour
Yeah.
sessions where you only productive for 45 minutes of those sessions.
Hmm.
So if anything, I think in this time it's just like you said, managing that energy, scheduling that rest, but knowing that if I'm gonna have less sort of focus blocks or work blocks where I'm gonna spend time on my processes, I need to make those cuts, even if it's an hour and a half.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, it's I'll probably just need to just schedule in the rest because
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to spend more time. Showing up is good, but and I always come back because I'm not sure if you listen to the game by Alex Hormozy.
Amosi. Mm.
Yeah, and like the kind of oak he is, he's like very much just like go for it. Like he was like it's questionable how much people want something based on like how much time they actually give towards it. And obviously the way he explains things in terms of like how much he worked when like he was starting up, like he would work like 20-hour days, like falling asleep like while spinning, like and sleeping in like the back of his car and then like going back to sponge. It's like maybe that's where like all of this comes from, where it's like you kind of just have to go for it and like you don't give yourself that gap and like you must just be like super tired and uh, borderline burnout. But I think in the same breath, it also depends on the type of work that you're doing. Like if it's physical work that doesn't need like a lot of mental capacity, then you can do that tired because your body will go until it sleeps. Like that's
Hmm.
your sign that you can't
Exactly.
carry on. But I think your mind and the bandwidth you have to focus on something will expire before like you do physically. So hence you can be at the laptop physically and like you may be doing stuff, but if you're not retaining whatever you're
Yeah.
learning in that session, or you you aren't in the frame of mind to make the most of that session, then what's the point, kind of thing. Um, and so I think it needs to be taken kind of in context or like used in context. In that, yeah, sometimes going balls to the wall depends on what you're doing, and with trading it's a very mental game and you kind of need to be in it like mentally instead of just showing up to the chart physically. um and when I was in Falcon there was similar chats like that where it's like there are oaks who work sometimes in areas with no signal and they literally had to take trades on like 4 hours a daily only because I don't know, wherever they work it's like a remote
Hmm.
location or something and they
Jeez.
can't look at the charts during the day, so it's like they only have like that evening or that morning to do their processes and stuff, but they make it work and Oaks were profitable in that time, but it's like they knew they had that time only, and maybe that's it. It's like limit the time you have. Don't tell yourself you have more time than you actually
Yeah.
have, because you might have time, but you may not have the focus to make
Hmm.
that time valuable in a sense. So yeah, it's given me good perspective on kind of how to navigate, how to move. I think picking your battles is kind of like the takeaway
Yeah.
of it. Like know yourself and know when you're going to perform best, when you're not. I think that just goes for anyone. But I think you must get to a point where you you've tried to at least go balls to the wall and you see it's not working. Don't just default into
Yeah.
I must give myself grace,
Grace mode.
because I
Nah.
think yeah, you can get into a pattern of almost going easy on yourself and feeling like you deserve a break when sometimes you really don't. I think it maybe takes getting frustrated with not feeling like you're being as productive as possible because you may be trying to force it too much to say, look,
Mm,
maybe I need to take a step back rather than, like I said, by default, just going into, now things are feeling a bit
yeah.
hectic, I must take a step back kind of thing.
I think to add to
So,
that, Sam,
yeah.
just to add real quick, I think like the break and the scheduling of breaks doesn't necessarily mean don't go balls to the wall, because you could literally schedule 2 weeks of work where you know that you can get the best out of yourself in that 2 weeks, and you literally
Mm,
whipping it for 2 weeks. Like you go
mm,
in off, and then after that you're like, okay, let me take a 3 day break, like to get that like rejuvenation. Then I go back to
get
80%
you.
and working at 80%, and then after that I go again balls to the wall. You know what I mean? I think it's just about
Mm,
like, because I don't
get you.
think, like, I think we lie to ourselves saying we can work at 100%, especially as you mentioned when it comes to working with your brain. Like you lie to
Mm,
yourself saying I can do this for 20 hours in a day every day for the
mm,
next month. Nah, bro, who do you think you are, fucking Einstein? No, like, no, bro. Like
yeah. Yeah.
it's generally most people can't do it. Like, and I think for me, it's easy to say I'm part of most people and try to beat that than to say I'm better than most people and then like fall below. You know what I mean? I'd rather like
Mm,
prove myself right than to be like, nah, like feel this entitlement that nah, you've done this, you've done that, and it's better than the
mm,
average person. No, like I try to put myself where most people are, and then I try to work like harder than the general person. You know what I mean? But it's
mm,
just about like
mm,
being able to say, for this 2 weeks or for this amount of time, I'm gonna go in, and then after that, I'm gonna allow myself a break. Because in that 2 weeks, you're
mm,
probably gonna get more done if you have focused work blocks in that 2 weeks. Like
mm,
you'll get more done within a month if you're gonna say, I'm gonna go for a full month. Because at the end of that, in that third week, when you get to that third week, I think you'll start feeling like, bro, now life happens, things
yeah.
happen, and you start feeling like, hey, bro, like I didn't expect this to happen, but it happened. So now what? Like I
Mm,
scheduled this big ass work block. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think it's also just about understanding yourself, as you mentioned, and then like understanding like where life goes and like how to really like play the field, bro. So yeah. But
Sure.
anyway, sorry to jam in there.
No, no, no. I appreciate that. And yeah, I appreciate the answer because I think that's given me a lot of clarity, I think, in terms of how to move forward, not only now because it's a busy period now, like it's easier to kind of manage energy and things when you're not so busy. So I think it's something I'll be able to take into even periods where I have more time. And it's like,
Mm,
even though I can go balls to the wall for a much longer period, maybe I shouldn't because at some point I'll kind of get burnt
yeah,
out and then you kind of fall into a cycle of not being so productive. So now shout out for the response, bro. I think
sure.
that's the point of like these chats is just to kind of like discuss challenges and like issues on the journey because this is something on the journey and we want to look back at the point when we start the 100K challenge and obviously once we passed it and say that
Mm,
like look, it wasn't all like smooth sailing and like there were times where it maybe didn't go like the way like that we planned, but like we worked through it like the best way we could and like we use like this platform to
yeah.
actually like improve how we were doing things and it contributed to getting to that end goal of
Mm,
that sustainability, that consistency, so that we can carry that through once we have the accounts into consistent withdrawals and scaling and whatnot, because that is also part of the overarching goal. It's not just to do
yeah.
and pass the challenge, because we want to do and pass the challenge in a manner that allows us to continue with the
Yeah.
accounts and scale it still. So shout out for the chat. So any last thoughts or words from your end?
Rest when you need to rest, work when you need to work, and allow yourself grace, bro. Like, that's my last thought, bro. Like, yeah, you can't do everything all the time, 100%.
Mm.
Just remember that. Like, so rest when you need to rest, work when you need to work, and allow yourself grace. But then also go balls to the wall when you need to. So, yeah.
Let's go. Now you can take us out with it, bro. Haven't heard the saying in a minute.
Yeah. So remember, guys, that your unmatched perspicacity, coupled with your sheer indefatigability, makes you a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Peace out.
I go.